North Dakota won the toss. They elected to defer, so it will be Kansas State. And from a yard deep, out of the end zone, past the 20, up to the 22, goes Bryce Norenberg. And we will get a look at the Wildcat offense. It is a bigger, stronger, faster Avery Johnson, as he's responsible for leading the Wildcat offense for the second straight year. 25 touchdowns a season ago, a program record, a dual threat quarterback, hoping to improve those numbers this year.
Yeah, and hopefully this passing game goes very well for him, because he understands he's too small to be running around like that. Even though he's one of the fastest players on the field, he has to make sure that he passes and passes effectively.
They go empty set on first down from the 23. Johnson with time, flings it near side, looking for Oakley, broken up.
You know, that's what they suffered from a little bit last week. A lot of drop passes. When the ball hits your hands like that, you've got to make sure you secure it. Avery has definitely picked his game up. He's definitely putting the ball where it's supposed to be. That should have been received on this play.
Joe Jackson to Johnson's left on second down, and it will be Johnson on a keeper trying to get to the outside. Good pursuit by the freshman Grant Noland as he chased him out of bounds. So no Dylan Edwards tonight. Tough start for the talented junior. His first touch of the season last week in Dublin. The muff punt, but even more critical for K-State, the injury that followed. As you take a look at that left ankle as it gets tweaked awkwardly, he would not return last week. He was ruled out on Wednesday, and he is a week-by-week case right now.
Absolutely.
Third down and long. Johnson flushed underneath. Oakley, the tight end, work to do as he stumbles ahead, and this will be real close. Looks like he'll be about 1.5 yards shy. And a good start for the Fighting Hawks on the road all the way from Grand Forks.
You know, you look at them, these Fighting Hawks, look at their defense. They don't have a problem with playing these guys man-to-man. So that's the confidence level they have with their ability to go out there and really go face-to-face with this Wildcat offense. A lot of man-to-man.
Simon McClannon on the punt. Zach Lewis, the transfer from Northern Arizona, awaiting this kick. High spiraling kick, takes a fortuitous bounce for Kansas State. And this will come to rest at the 25-yard line.
Sean, you think, you know, everybody was looking like Coach Glyman would have went for that play. You know, I think they learned a bit last week on not doing that, being more, you know, calculated on when they go for fourth down.
What a moment for Jerry Kaminsky in the center of that Kelly Green. Kaminsky won a tight quarterback battle this fall. He was officially named the starter this past Monday. Said this is the moment you dream about as a coach's son, growing up in the center of Wisconsin to make your first career start in this type of environment. How will he respond?
Can't wait to see what he does.
They're going to get him involved early out of the backfield, making the catch and picking up 6 to the 31-yard line. Goes Corey Ty. Mentioned being a coach's son in the red hat, way up there in the corner for North Dakota. His father, Brian, who was his high school football coach at Sun Prairie. Jerry Kaminsky, the 2022 Offensive Player of the Year and the Dave Craig winner for the state of Wisconsin. Second down, and there is Romaine blowing it up at the line of scrimmage.
That shows the confidence level of what these coaching staff is doing on defense. They're lining up in 4 down. That's different from what they've done the past couple years. And those 4 downs, you know, those guys down on the line of scrimmage, they're allowing those linebackers to scrape and make plays, and that's exactly what just happened.
Trips to the right, they rush 4, little stop pattern is caught, but shy of the first down. It's a youthful mistake there by B.J. Fleming, cutting off that route just a bit short.
Yeah, he did, you know, but if the ball would have been up a little more, I think he could have maybe fell forward. but it just goes to show the confidence that they have in that offensive line. If you look at both offensive line, big guys. You know, that's one thing you're going to get with FCS football. They have big guys, and they like to play that neck roll football coming off the rock. Even though they passed a little more this drive, I look forward to seeing them run the rock.
They have 3 really good running backs. They brought in Xavier Lay, the transfer from Sacred Heart, that they are excited about. Silvernail with the punt. Lockett, the fair catch signal at the 21. Each team has had it once. Both defenses shining early on an overcast Saturday night.
To make sure that they do that this game.
Conversely, Iowa State converting on their 4th downs. The Cyclones were 3 for 3 in Dublin. Second offensive series for Avery Johnson in this K-State offense, and he gets rid of it quickly. Jace Brown holds it in. Brown pushed out of bounds at the 27, a gain of 6. Johnny Wiltshire with the coverage.
Now, you know, they got a simple out. They want to get this offense going. So let's go with a nice little simple pass, a simple out to one of the best players on the team, Brown. This can get the offense going, keep the sticks moving.
See a lot of heavy tight end packages. Hit as he threw it. Nice concentration there by Johnson, but for the second straight time, Avery Scott, Johnny Wiltshire, pressure applied by Caden Vig.
UND are showing they're not scared of this offense. They are playing man-to-man a lot of the times, and they're going to be making plays. That front 4 that they're using, they're now a 4-down team too, are getting a little pressure on Avery Johnson.
New defensive scheme this year brought in by Eric Schmidt in North Dakota. Johnson hit as he throws. It is caught, but shy of the first down. Malachi McNeil the stop. Brown with his second catch, and now a decision for Kansas State. They elected to punt on their first series, looking at a similar scenario here, 4th and a yard.
Yeah, you look at it, they bring in their big guys. They run 12 personnel. That's 1 running back, 2 tight ends. They're heavy up front. Let's see what this offensive line does against this, FCS front 4.
Ancio, the H-back, he goes in motion left to right. Split backs flanking Johnson, 4th and short. He'll hand it off, first down and then some. Jackson burst into the secondary, and the gamble pays off early for Kleiman and the Wildcats.
Look at the guys up front. The simplest thing you could do is get double teams at the point of attack. They get the double team on the backside. It cuts right behind that double team on the backside. It's just inside zone. Simple play, and that simplicity is why they were able to pick up yardage.
Great block from Andrew Langang, the senior out of Bismarck, North Dakota. Playing against his home state, he opened up that hole for Jackson and a first down. Johnson with time throws. Again, that cushion being given as they respect the speed of Brown. They work on the freshman Grant Noland. One thing about the Dakotas, especially the Missouri Valley Football Conference for North Dakota, usually they're the bigger teams, but take a look at this comparison. A smaller defensive front line this year for the Fighting Hawks.
Yeah, you over 50 pounds they're giving away up front. But I tell you what, that defensive line of North Dakota, they're not being pushed around much at all.
Second down give, and up the middle they go with Devon Rice. The redshirt freshman thrust into action last week with the injury to Edwards, and both offensive coordinator Matt Wells and head coach Chris Kleiman told us they're looking to develop some depth at running back.
Well, they need depth at running back because they should be running the ball. But I tell you what, UND are moving their defensive line. They're shifting them as the ball is snapped. So they're penetrating opposite gaps, making this offensive line move their feet. And right now they're winning the war up front.
4-down territory here for Kansas State. 3rd and a little more than a yard. And again, you talked about that surge up front, the penetration by the front 4 for North Dakota. Jackson is cut down shy of the first down, setting up yet another 4th down.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely doing a great job of penetration. Penetration kills all run plays, and that's what's going on up front. Now, what you can do if they're doing that is run play action, and that opens up big plays, especially when you have Brown. You got Tibbs and Bradley, guys that are big and they can go out and run.
Another fourth down opportunity, and they're going to throw it. Johnson off his back foot, wide open, the tight end. Rooting to run down the side for Swanson. Has a wall of blockers, and he's knocked out of bounds inside the 10.
Like I said, you run play action, get everybody drawn up front, and then all of a sudden you throw over the backside of them. They're going man-to-man, and they're run blocking. Those tight ends are out by themselves. He could have went with the flag on the farther down the field. But it's just a great play call by that Kansas State offense.
Swanson, known for his blocking ability, part of that deep tight end room. He has his first catch of the year. Good for 38 yards and a first down. Now Johnson to the air through the fingertips of Braden Lofton.
Yeah, Lofton should have had that, but he put a little too much sauce on that. He put some heat on that ball. But, I mean, you look at how this team is running right now. Their ability to run the ball is going to open up the passing game. And I tell you what, those guys up front, once they start getting lathered up and they get into a rhythm, that's when you see this offense open up a lot more.
Johnson 6 of 8, 65 yards in this opening quarter. Second down. Jackson, patient run, trying to find any type of crevice. Not much luck. Tyler Henry, the junior interior tackle, part of that North Dakota front, and a 3rd and goal.
At this point, they're hoping North Dakota can stop them, hold them to a field goal. That'll be a serious win for this team if they can hold them to a field goal instead of a touchdown. But, hey, Kansas State understands that they have to score right here. This is a must for them.
Bradley and Brown to the top of the field. The transfer from Purdue, Tibbs in motion. Oakley, the tight end, to the right.
First charge time out of the half, North Dakota.
North Dakota, opportunity to make an early statement. 3rd and goal when we come back to Manhattan. Seven up on the line of scrimmage for the Fighting Hawks. Johnson checking over toward the sideline, and his offensive coordinator, Matt Wells. See if the Hawks come. They do. Pressure up the middle. Johnson trying to elude, in trouble, and he is swallowed up. Flag flies. Johnson sacked back at the 13.
I'll tell you what, UND is playing great defense. They trust the guys on the outside to go out there and cover their running, their tight ends, and their wide receivers one-on-one, making Johnson throw tight passes.
There is no foul on the play for a face mask. The defender had a hold of the hair. It's 4th down.
The defender had a hold of the hair. That's what happens, long hair. But, up front, they're winning up front. UND is winning up front. And on the outside, they're just not giving a clear picture for Johnson. So Johnson pulls the ball down. He's got to have more patience and trust those bigger receivers on these DBs.
Parks with the sack, so that sets up the first field goal attempt of the season for the transfer Luis Rodriguez, who they landed real late in the summer, and he arrived in the nick of time. Rodriguez converts, and Kansas State with the opening 3, but Barrett, if you're North Dakota, that's a victory for the Fighting Hawks.
That's definitely a victory. After a big change, once you have all that yardage picked up, the big change, UND, they don't waver any. They go out there and play their defense. They kick the field goal, and now they're 3 up. Yes, Kansas State's 3 up, but UND definitely stopped that offense in the red zone, and Kansas State can't allow this to go on for the rest of the game. They've got to make sure that they solidify what's going up front and stop them from doing whatever they're doing to create pressure on Johnson.
Luis Rodriguez arriving late here at Kansas State this summer, one of the top junior college kickers in the country. Arrived in July from the College of Canyon, where he was an All-American, went 21 of 25, and they just raved about his strong leg. In fact, they have called him a blessing, the locals here, for his arrival, trying to replace some big shoes in Chris Tennant, who won some football games through the years for K-State.
Back in '90, when I first got here, that's all this team used to have was JUCO transfers. So many JUCO transfers in Kansas.
Strong programs in this state at that junior college level. So North Dakota ready to dial up this offense for the second time. We saw them come out throwing on that opening drive, maybe to try to get their young quarterback into some type of flow, get him hit a couple of times into the rhythm. Now we see if they go to that ground game, which we expect.
And I expect that. I expect them to go with this ground game simply because right now they've had some success up front on the defensive side of the ball. Now they're going to go with, what really makes them tick, and that offensive line is what makes them tick. Big guys up front, moving guys around, and there's not much size difference between Kansas State's defensive line.
From the 25, he will whip it out to the flat, making the catch, and then making a defender miss. Up ahead goes Christian Hoskins, the transfer from Minnesota. 12 yards on the completion and a first down.
Yeah, it's a read option. We call it, it's a run-pass option, and he chose to pass it on that play. He read it out. They had numbers on the outside, able to complete the ball, and then after that, you see the blocking, and then just the will to go out there and make a play.
Travis Bates, a late substitution as he gets into position. K-State with some confusion defensively. Obi Izor will check out on this 1st and 10 at the 37. Kaminsky looking over a 4-man front, double move, floats it out downfield. Good coverage. Mayshawn Rich.
You look at it, at this point, Kansas State showing a little moxie on the outside, going one-on-one on the outside. It was great coverage. With him stride for stride. He should have looked back, turned around for the ball, but the receiver didn't see the ball either. So that's great coverage on the outside, man-to-man.
A lot of youth for Kansas State at the 2 corner positions with both McIntosh and Rich. A pair of sophomores. Again, that RPO, they get it out in space. First down and then some. And a touchdown saving tackle made, but not before getting all the way inside the 35 to the 32 goes Xavier Lay, the scat back who they brought in to do just this.
Yeah, we've seen at this point the lack of coverage on the outside when it comes to running backs and tight ends, especially last week when the tight ends had some big games versus this defense.
27 yards to Lay, who spent his first 4 years on the East Coast with Sacred Heart, coming off his best season last year, rushing for over 500 yards. Now the bag of tricks on the end around. Corey Ty to the 10, makes the defender miss, and is corralled inside the 1. 1st and goal, North Dakota reaching into the bag of tricks.
Great run on this. You got the sweep. They run a reverse, get the ball to one of the guys, and then you look at it, they have the numbers on the backside. They're going man-to-man, and then the man-to-man defender had 15, got mixed up in the wash, which allowed them to have a big play going down. Now they're in the red zone, right up against the line of scrimmage, against the end zone. See if those big guys up front take control of the game.
Again, late personnel changes for Kansas State. They are allowed to get those substitutions in as North Dakota initiated the change. They bring in the extra tight end, up the middle, over the top, ball 3. North Dakota pouncing on it for the touchdown.
That's just outworking a Kansas State defense.
Zebarth lost it as he went airborne, recovered by Kaminsky. How about that for your first rushing touchdown as a starter? Not as they scripted it.
Not as they scripted it, but that just goes to show the hustle. Quarterback recovers this. Look at how many guys on the ground. He's all the way in the backfield, is able to come up and make a play. Great play by Kaminsky. That's why he's starting this week. They can be led by this guy because he's working his butt off to make sure that he's the best version of himself, and he hustles the way he hustles.
75-yard drive. For more than 2.5 minutes off the clock. Chunk plays. The end around, all gather around Jerry Kaminsky, the hero on that last drive.
Yeah, they grade everything, how they eat, what they eat, school, everything, and that's why he graded so high. Because that leadership ability right there. We just had that's a good return. What do they do now? I mean, if you look at the sideline, Kansas State sidelines look a little flat, Sean.
Johnson, in this opening quarter, he has been busy throwing the football. They have relied on his arms. 6 of 8, 65 yards. Jackson, 3 carries for 15 yards. From the 32, Johnson on the move, throws dangerous pass, nearly jumping the lane, getting his hand on it. Johnny Wiltshire, who's been active in this opening quarter.
Absolutely. You know, he's showing no fear. No fear that he can run past him, so he sat down on the play, was able to make a play. This is where I want to see, can Johnson get this team going again? You look at the opposite side. Kaminsky has his guys going, has his troops going. It's now Johnson's job to get his team going.
You could hear a pin drop right now inside Bill Snyder Family Stadium. Shock early on in this game. Pressure off the edge, and this one nearly picked again. Grady Kinch came in from his in position, untouched. Then Zach Lewis had that go right through his arms.
That's what we can have. You know, we've got to make sure that he stays in a position where he's not going to be getting hit. He needs to have something a little more, accustomed for him moving around, using his speed as opposed to him sitting back there in the pocket.
Kinch showed some of his speed, rushing off the edge. 3rd down and 10. They rush only 3. Johnson on the run, throws, soft touch. Brown with his 4th catch, and that's a big 1st down early in this game.
They needed that in the worst way. You know, here they just run a boot. They run a boot to the right. He gets out there. Brown makes himself available. Just run a little deep out.
They go quick. First touch for Jaron Bradley, the transfer out of Boston College, and he is cut down immediately by Jai Martin.
Yeah, I want to see how he can get into this offense. I mean, he's a big receiver, 6'5", 223, can run. Had some big plays last week. Can Avery Johnson get him implemented in the offense?
Bradley arrived here at Kansas State in January. Caught the coach's attention right away and had already built a relationship with offensive coordinator Matt Wells from
First charge time.
Wells' days at Texas. Wells moving over from the quarterback coach position a year ago into a role that he is so comfortable with, really his favorite part of the sport. He was talking about the play calling mode. Had built that strong relationship with Avery Johnson. And now speaking of the vertical game, wide open, touchdown, Jace Brown, 44 yards.
Great pass play right here. I mean, I love how they allowed the play to develop. Here he is, sets back, read option, but then the speed that they have with Brown, the connection he has with Brown, allowed them to go deep for the big play.
Kansas State responds. Quick scoring strike for the Wildcats.
You see that, Sean? I mean, yes, you know, you have confidence on the guys on the outside, but, you know, Brown is one of the faster players, you know, and he has probably the best connection out of all the receivers with Avery. So which allowed them to sit back. You give Avery Johnson time, he can pick you apart, and it just showed it just then. Ran a little shake route on the outside, beat the man-to-man coverage for 6.
Couple of near misses for North Dakota on that last drive, and this is the one Zach Lewis would love to get back.
Yeah, you look at it, you know, it's a little out route. He was hit hard, which allowed him not to follow through with the pass. You got to make those plays on the outside. You know, that was definitely a play in which North Dakota should have used that as another momentum breaker and get it going the opposite direction.
So what's Johnson do after that missed opportunity? Comes back with a beautiful throw on 3rd and long to Brown, and then the touchdown strike to his favorite target, Jace Brown. Was blowing up on the scene a year ago, his first year as a starter in Manhattan. Really the lone returning threat from that receiving core from a year ago, and he has helped this year to take some of the attention off him with Bradley and Tibbs.
Absolutely, and he's so fast. and able to get. He's a big frame, and he has reliable hands. And I think that's the biggest thing that this K-State offense is dealing with. The mere fact that they don't catch everything that's thrown to them. I've seen just in this game alone 2 or 3 drops already, and we haven't even made it out of the first quarter. They have to solidify these catches and become more of a 2nd and 5 team as opposed to always being 2nd and 3rd and 10.
Third different tailback into the game for North Dakota. This is the speedster Sawyer Seidel. Seidel wrapped up. Open field tackle by Justice Clemens. You go north into the state of North Dakota, you know there's going to be some beef, and this offensive line has a lot of experience. 4 of their 5 guys up front, returning starters, all 5 over 300.
You don't have to look far for the beef, but that's what you get with FCS schools. Neck roll football. Big guys up front, homegrown, North Dakota guys. You know, it's not like going up there eating moose meat, deer meat, because, hey, these guys are big up front. They look like FBS players.
It's good stuff. I would recommend that.
Yes, you would, Sean. Yes, you would. You're daring like that. You love elk and moose and that stuff.
Well, look at Seth Anderson. He's had some moose and elk in his day.
Yeah, he is. Look at him. Raring to go, too. Raring to go.
315-pounder. The anchor on that right side. 3rd down and short. Let's see if they run behind him. Z Barth, the short yardage back in the game. He gets the call. They try to run behind Anderson. Kansas State does a good job. Austin Romaine fighting his way through, and he's going to be just short.
I love this. This is what you call double eagle. They cover the center and both guards up with big tackles, and then on the outside they have linebacker rush ends on the outside, and they just allow those guys up front to get penetration up the field. That's great by that defensive line, getting penetration on the offensive line. Penetration always kills run plays.
North Dakota does not have to snap it here. You see the differential. We'll see if they do snap it on 4th and less than a yard. Would be really shocked if he did. They're going to let this clock wind down in a thoroughly entertaining first quarter on a Saturday night here at Kansas State.
Starting to steal the
gamble early in this football game, and they say no. We're going to send out the punting unit, so Silvernail out there for the Fighting Hawks. 4th and less than a yard. Do you like this for North Dakota?
I absolutely like this. You don't want to put your team, you're going, force for force up front and playing great against an FBS team. They no longer look at Kansas State as the big dogs. They feel as though they're the big dogs. They've taken all the emotion out of this stadium. It's so quiet in here right now. So I think that, it was smart by him to go ahead and punt it. And let's start up. This defense has played well and match up man-to-man and go on from there.
Johnson with big numbers so far through 1 quarter, the 133 yards, 44 of those on the touchdown pass to Jace Brown. 6 catches for Brown, 81 yards. In motion, they fake the throw to him, they hand it off, and a little misdirection to Rice, and there goes Devon Rice. Catapulted high up into the air as he crosses into plus territory.
Yeah, you got to get it to your speed. They run a little misdirection. Get guys running around everywhere. They have the jet motion going across it, get in the eyes of the defense. Great play by them to call.
27 yards, Rice. That time they use Brown as the decoy. Johnson steps up, slings it, and it's knocked away. Zone coverage there by North Dakota and getting a hand on it.
That's 3 times this half that he's thrown a pass that the defense has been privileged to. He's got to make sure that, he reads things and sees things more clearly. The zone, I think, at this point is really hurting him a little bit because he can't see guys that may be falling back into the passing lanes.
Wiltshire getting his hands on that last throw by Johnson. 2nd down and 10, opening drive of this 2nd quarter. Set up the screen, getting rid of it quickly. Tibbs tackled immediately by McNeil, the 2-year captain.
That's one play, is a great play for this offense because it's like a long handoff, getting it to one of your players, get it to your weapons. And that's stressed that throughout our conversation with their offense yesterday. Get the ball to your weapons and go from there.
was Adonis Moise, good-looking freshman on that last reception. Moise with his first career catch, the true freshman. Part of a strong youth movement for K-State. That time, quarterback, receiver not on the same page as he misfires, looking for tips. And a 4th down.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's definitely a miscommunication up front. Tips, thinking he's running a dig and a comeback. And then I think, you know, on the outside, I think Avery thought he's going to run it out on the play.
Back to for return is for North Dakota. Number 11, Zach Lewis.
Clannon on the punt for the 2nd time tonight. Lewis standing inside his 10. End over end. This will have a little bit too much leg on it as it goes sailing into the end zone. 43-yard punt, net of 23. North Dakota and their offense will go back to work, trailing by 3.
ACC and make sure that, you know, he takes control of it.
North Dakota from the 20 and trying to elude the defense and stretch the field as wide as he could go is Seidel, but good pursuit by Kansas State. Desmond Purnell, one of their fastest linebackers, able to keep up with the elusiveness of Seidel.
Yeah, you know, and all the guys up front, you know, the more penetration they get, the more, you know, out of sorts this offense will become, because once you get upfield and start that penetration, you make that running back bow a little more. And when you allow him to bow, it allows your troops to get there a little later in the play.
Good news for Kansas State. Number 55, Malcolm Alcorn-Crowder has checked into the game. He did not play last week. He was a late scratch.
Ball start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
It's Trace Thaden. But they get Alcorn-Crowder back. They're hoping to get Ryan Davis back in the next week or two, and all of a sudden, this is a really deep defensive line.
Yeah, right now they're, you know, it's kind of slim, but they're doing enough right now to make that offensive line of UND jump off sides a little bit. You know, they've got to change how this game is being played up front.
Behind the sticks after the penalty, Kaminsky with the RPO. First time he's going to tuck and run. He'll pick up the first bound, stays on his feet, showing some of his strength and toughness, and a 1st down gallop. Purnell finally able to bring him down.
Yeah, we talked to the offensive coordinator yesterday, and they said, look, that's one of the traits that you have to make sure you're more comfortable with. He didn't want to run. He just wanted to be a pure passer. Well, he just showed he has some wheels and some toughness. Why don't he run the ball a little more? And I think this confidence will allow him to do this a little more.
25 yards in the run by Kaminsky has been impressive in this first half. Steps up, lobs, and a diving catch is made. Demonatanek able to haul it in, the Canadian. Out of Clarkson with his first catch.
Look at Kaminsky. I mean, he's just keeping his eyes down the field. He's making sure he's moving in the pocket well, and he's just trusting the guys on the outside to make a play. His confidence level, that's the reason why he's starting. There's a lot of experience on the sideline right now, and he's the guy that they chose to be the starter.
Spreading the ball around as well. You see this pre-snap movement by North Dakota. They swing it out, lay. This is a guy you want to wrap up. So dangerous in open space. Daniel Cobbs did a good job getting the arms lassoed around and then help arrive.
Very elusive, very, very elusive runner. You give him the ball, they want to get it to him out in space to make that defender make a decision. Right now, the defense won that play. Great job coming up and stopping him.
Isaac Frickty in his 2nd year as the offensive coordinator told us in our meetings last night. They're going to mix up their tempo. They're going to do a lot of pre-snap movement, a lot of counter and misdirection type. Try to hit these linebackers and really put a lot of pressure on this linebacking core.
And that's what it does. When you do misdirection, when you do sweeps, when you get the ball going one way and then you come back around, it gets them out of sort. Watch the linebackers. They're reading. All of a sudden, bam, from the outside, here it comes. So you can't just leave your assignment. Defensive ends have to make sure they stay at home, and you can't pursue as fast as you really want to.
This crowd trying to generate some energy. They fake the pitch. Kaminsky again. Just so impressed with his poise again, a lot of moving parts there. He had missiles coming from both sides. He lost his helmet there late, so he'll have to leave the game unless North Dakota wants to use a timeout. But he is showing the poise of a 3 or 4 year starter in this first half.
Has a lot of confidence, you know, in what he's doing with the ball. Hey, he didn't see the play that he wanted to see. He pulls it down and runs a little bit.
Kaminsky leaves. Here comes the transfer that Eric Schmidt brought with him from the West Coast. Javance Tupuata Johnson started a game last year for the Aztecs in the Mountain West. Arrived late, just trying to learn the system and learn the ways of this offense. Has an active arm, tries to showcase it, and he does. Tremendous catch. Flag is down. Dang hauls it in. And if the catch sticks, it's 1st and goal for the Fighting Hawks.
That's his big playmaker, dang. But hey, look at that.
Holding defense number 6, correction number 9. The penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
There was no way that I thought that he was going to come in and throw a pass. Usually when you have another quarter, when your backup quarter come in, you go ahead and you hand the ball off. But no, they have enough confidence in him to get the ball to Dang, and that's the big play. He's the big play guy for this offense, and now he comes in and with a sure-handed catch, moving the chains.
Fighting off the contact from McIntosh. Strong hands by Dang. 26 yards, 1st and goal, North Dakota. They float it high up into the air. Caught, but denied the end zone. Oh, what a pop that time.
Great play, making sure that he followed him across the formation and was still able to go out there and stop him. Oh, man, I wish I had a replay on this because he came from the other side of the field and still able to make a play on that.
Quay Moss coming off a strong game in Dublin with the touchdown saving tackle. They go back to the air, a little rub route coming back to the center, and again denied the end zone. 3rd and goal, that time it was McIntosh.
The defense is stepping up, playing in their face. This is going to give them great confidence if they keep them out the end zone. But we have to understand those big guys up front, they're really going to want to take the goal. They're saying to the coach, hey, let's run it. Forget all this passing. I want to run the rock. Let's pound it. They're bringing in their big guys, fullback, tight end, 22 personnel. Let's go. 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Aiden Teeter has had to check into the game at right tackle. Seth Anderson, the anchor of this offensive line, had to leave because he lost his lid. Into the teeth of this crowd in Manhattan. 3rd down and goal. And North Dakota is going to use their 2nd timeout of the half. A long scoring opportunity, the 10th play of the drive for North Dakota.
That's up to the guys up front, you know, who's going to impose their will. They're going to cover everybody they can cover. Everybody's going to be in the box. Look for Dang on the pass play.
They go pistol, lay behind Kaminsky. It will be Kaminsky after the fake, diving ahead for the touchdown. 10 plays, 80 yards. Jerry Kaminsky in his first career start with his 2nd touchdown of the night. This one more conventional.
Man, you look at it. I love this play call. You have a running back in. Instead, give it to running back. Use him as a blocker going forward, and you run right up behind him. Comfortable with having the ball, handling the ball inside against those defensive linemen. Kaminsky for the score. That's 2 touchdowns by him today.
C.J. Elrich adds the point after him for the 2nd time tonight. North Dakota goes out in front. 10 the offense, which has stood out to me.
Leading those men, leading that sideline. There's no doubt that this is his team.
Yard deep. Norenberg ran into his own man. Ball popped free. North Dakota's on top of it. Friendly fire for Norenberg. The ball up into the air, recovered by North Dakota. My goodness.
You know, we spoke about this in the break, you know, how North Dakota has allowed this game to become very muddy, you know, very murky. This UND team says, all right, we are belonging here, and we are going to win this game. That's their mentality right now. And until Kansas State steps up, it will continue to go this way.
The blocker, Wittenberg, was driven right into the path of Bryce Norenberg.
Still no excuses. Still should have the ball, I mean, that just happens.
And now North Dakota will try to keep the foot on the gas. They start this inside the K-State red zone from the 19.
Sean, I need a little more enthusiasm out of the K-State defense.
7:41 to go in this opening half. Kaminsky looking left all the way, wants that double move. 50-50 ball knocked away. Rich had the coverage.
Great coverage on the outside, turn around just in time, tried to high point the ball. You need big plays like that. Can this defense do it, I mean, look, Kaminsky goes out there, he throws a pretty good pass with pressure in his face, getting hit. Double move, with the double move, great play on the outside by both the receiver and the DB. The receiver stopping the catch, and the DB almost making an interception.
Romaine applied the hit. Second down, pocket collapsing. Down goes Kaminsky. Ball free, Kansas State on top of it.
There is a crowd here. The fans are here. Kansas State is here. They needed this right here. Quick change. Go out there and make a play. The defense stepping up. Now it's up to Johnson to go out there and keep things going. Great rush up front. One-on-one. Able to shed the block. Gets out. That's a good old-fashioned TE stunt. Tight end gets up the field. Linebacker goes around the corner. Rush end goes around the corner. Great play. Creating a turnover. This defense needed that. They needed something to get them going. They came out flat. This will probably get them going in a way that they can go out and start making plays for the rest of the game.
Cody Stufflebeam, one of 8 super seniors on the Kansas State roster, with the hit. And then Toby Osasanmi able to recover it. And now they're going to go upstairs to take another look. See our referee. It's a Big 12 conference officiating crew. Tim Rich, our referee, the replay official tonight, Mark Larson, and they're going to take another look, see if Kaminsky's arm was going forward. Let's see if he's in that throwing motion as Stufflebeam put on the hit.
It looked like he tried to bring it back into his body. I'm going to tell you the truth, Sean. It looked like he was trying to bring it back into his body, just bring it down and just take the sack on the play. But, I don't wear the stripes.
Taking multiple looks at this. Again, the call on the field is fumble. Kansas State with the recovery, and is there enough evidence to overturn that call?
It doesn't look like a passing motion, not necessarily to myself.
The big call nonetheless. Let's
After
listen
review,
in.
the ruling on the field is upheld. First down, Kansas State.
So the defense delivers after the special teams mistake.
Same thing happened last week versus Iowa State. The first time they get a punt, it's a punt muff, they fumble it, turn back around, defense bows up, and then creates a turnover.
And if you're North Dakota, a missed opportunity. You're looking for the upset on the road. Have to take advantage of those opportunities when they present themselves. So now their defense back to work. On Rice gets the call, quick hitter over that right guard, and Rice stumbles his way up to the 39.
If I'm a play caller, and I'm an offensive lineman, so of course I want to run the ball, but this is what they need to do. Keep it simple. We call it KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. They just run inside zone there and pick up 5 yards. Now, second and 5 as opposed to second and 10. To me, 2 plus 2 equals 4. So at this point, they need to do the same thing.
Brown, who had a big first quarter, looking for his first touch in the second quarter. Johnson looking his direction. He'll use his speed. Little shovel up ahead to the tight end. Will Swanson with his second catch of the night. That will move the sticks and a first down. Johnny Wiltshire, another tackle.
They run that boot and, just use Avery's speed to get on the outside. They ran the ball consistently. The first play, ran inside zone. Then they run the same action, boot him out the back opposite way, and catches that defense on the backside, pinching down too much. And he's able to get to the outside and create a play. Now it's first down again.
There is an injured defender for North Dakota being attended to. Johnny Wiltshire was the injured Fighting Hawk as we go back to the last play and the creativity of Johnson.
Yeah, you see the offensive line went one way, turned back around, and able to get the first down. But that's just a great play to come up and make the tackle. He just paid for it. Shoulder went into the block, into the tackle. It's a tough and aggressive sport.
Johnson 12 of 18, 172 yards. First down, this is Joe Jackson slipping away from one, powering his way into plus territory. Logan Eckert driving him down, but not before a good pickup for the sophomore out of Haines City, Florida.
6 foot, 215 pounds. Give it to the big fella. Let him run in between the tackles. He can shed a block or two or shed a tackle or two. Now 2nd and 3 as opposed to, like I said, being 2nd and 10.
This is the strongest that Jackson has been entering a season. Spent a ton of time in the weight room, and it really has paid off. Lots of room to run or throw for Avery Johnson. He will dump it off. Tibbs with the catch and a first down throw. Jerron Tibbs. Kansas State, plenty of time. Nice looking drive as they try to regain that lead late in this first half.
And as we talk about the maturation of Johnson, instead of him running, last year he probably would have run for the first down. But take a little bit of that pounding off your body. Get it to your receivers, that can go out there and make a play. The weapons are more apt to better running.
They run the end around. This is Moise. Shakes free from one, and pursuit defense by North Dakota. Bennett Walker, the transfer from San Diego State.
You got to keep guys honest, keep those defensive ends from crashing down and following the play. You got to make sure those guys stay out wide. That way you can run more as far as play action to get the ball down the field. But if you don't make sure that those ends stop crashing, it'll be a long day for Johnson because they'll keep tattooing them on every single pass play.
Talking with Kleiman yesterday and these reduced rosters for all of college football, you're going to see more freshmen, redshirt freshmen make an impact. Pressure off the edge. Good job there by Johnson to feel it. Throws it toward Tibbs. Tipped around, and it is caught off the deflection. Jai Martin had his hands on it. Deflected to Tibbs. Touchdown.
Love this play. Look, turns around, gets the play fake. They give him a little time. He gets out the pocket, but then he throws it down. Watch how the receiver keeps his eye on the ball. You got to stay concentration. Finishes the play. Touchdown. Touchdown. Great concentration by the receiver.
Rodriguez adds the point after. Avery Johnson with the touchdown pass. Normally when you talk tip drill, you're thinking defense. This time it's all about the offense.
Yeah, it's straight concentration. That should have been a pick, and that's the third time in this game, in this first half, that they didn't take an opportunity and finish a play. This defense have had their hands on 3 separate times the ball and didn't complete the play. You got to finish on the play. On that time, the receiver kept his eyes on the ball. Touchdown.
Tibbs has his first touchdown as a Wildcat, the transfer from Purdue. Spent 2 years in the Big Ten with the Boilermakers, 25 catches last year, a couple of touchdowns. Had a wonderful spring. He was one of those receivers who He stepped out this spring, tried to build a bond with Avery Johnson, and 4 catches last week against Iowa State, a couple of catches in this first half, and now his first touchdown.
Take advantage of your weapons, Johnson. Take advantage of your weapons.
Avery Johnson, he has been flinging the ball in this first half. And after his defense came away with a huge turnover, Johnson made North Dakota pay.
You look at it, it's simple with, the answer to the quiz. You run the ball and it opens up everything else. If you steady pass in every single play, it gives that defense a shot of going out and making a play. So it's better to run the ball, impose your will, and then turn around and throw the ball over the top. It makes things just easier with the play action as opposed to just step back and drop back and throwing the ball every single play.
212 yards already tonight for Johnson. Last week throwing for 273 in the loss to Iowa State. First down, trying to bounce it wide, Xavier Lay. No luck.
Look at the guys up front. As you're watching this game, watch the guys. When they cover the center and both guards with big defensive linemen, they're able to get up the field and stop all the misdirection and running plays that this North Dakota offense are trying to run. Those guys up front are imposing their wills, which is allowing them to go out and make plays.
Seumalo, one of the interior tackles for Kansas State, 2nd down and 12. Near side throw, and this one's dropped. B.J. Fleming. Clemens was in the vicinity, and a 3rd and 12.
Yeah, both guys out there hand checking each other on the outside. You could have called pass interference on either one of those guys, but it's a physical play out there.
These have been the situations, for the most part, North Dakota has avoided in this first half, getting behind schedule. Now this crowd becomes an impact, 3rd and long. Four-man rush over the middle on that quick slant. Hayden Stay, the tight end, barreling his way up to the 32. V.J. Payne, the hard-hitting safety. And North Dakota with a quick 3-and-out. Kansas State going to get the football back.
They finally step up, playing a physical game. Turns around, bam, pads are popping out there. This is what football is all about. The physicality of guys going out there and making things happen. They get the stop, going to punt, 3 minutes left in the first half.
Pressure up the middle, and Silvernail just did get the kick away. Flag down, Silvernail also down. As this ball trickling inside the 20 comes to a rest at the 18. Contact with the punter, Silvernail, a 50-yard punt right now.
Running to the kicker, receiving team number 1. The 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
So it doesn't matter whether it's running or roughing. They only needed 4. They pick up 5 with a lesser infraction.
Huge, huge play. Once again on special teams, in which North Dakota keeps the sticks moving. This is something, that Kansas State have to watch. Too much undisciplined football, and that's not, what Kleiman has been taught here. That's not what he's had here since he's been here. They've been a more disciplined team than what they're showing these first 2 games. Now the defense has to go out there, and then eventually, they're going to get tired. They're playing a lot of snaps today with a big physical offensive line.
Jaden Rowe, the transfer from Oklahoma, with the flag on that last play, giving North Dakota new life late in this first half. Kaminsky rolling right, flush, flag thrown, vicinity of a hold. Romaine shadowing Kaminsky, and this one going against the North Dakota O-line.
Offense number 71, 10-yard penalty. It's first down.
That's their veteran, Seth Anderson, who started his career at North Dakota State. Spent a couple of years with the Bison. You don't find this type of transfer too often. going from Fargo to Grand Forks, but Anderson has been an anchor of this offensive line in fall camp.
Yeah, you know, I mean, and he had, you know, that's I've been in that position before. You don't know where the quarterback is when you're an offensive tackle. And when he starts moving away from you, like, hey, come back, reach, grab the jersey. It's easy when you're out there at tackle because, you know, that you're seeing everything when you're by yourself.
You talk to the Kansas State faithful, you never held anybody in your career here.
Offense number 80, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Boy, a little bit of self-destructing now by North Dakota late. They had the penalty on first down before the roughing the punter, the running into the punter. Now they get a holding call, an illegal procedure, and Eric Schmidt in this offense moving the wrong way.
And this is something that's uncharacteristic also of a North Dakota team.
One of the least penalized teams in the Missouri Valley Football Conference a year ago. We hit the 2-minute timeout. Kansas State leading by 3.
This is a 2-minute timeout.
73 yards, putting up a fight on the road against a top 25 opponent in Kansas State. Kaminsky with some room, he will loft it downfield, and it is caught in stride. Soft touch to Caden Dennis, the senior from Kansas City.
You've got to stay disciplined. This defensive end goes in too far, invites him in, and it just makes it easy for the quarterback to get outside. And Kaminsky has a lot of confidence in getting the ball down the field, and that's a great play by him and the receiver converting.
8 different receivers for Kaminsky in this first half. First down and 10, pressure up the middle. He's dumped by Stufflebean. Second sack of the night for the senior.
Yeah, that was more so a cover sack, but you know what? They ran a simple play. They ran a T with the end coming in an ET. Really plain. ET, he's able to get in. Great rush by the tackle going up the field and not allowing that tackle to work back in to block him, which allowed to get the sack. But it was coverage downfield, which allowed that to develop up front.
Loss of 11, 2nd and 21. Pressure again, and again they get to him. This time off the edge by Travis Bates. Bates, the junior.
Second charge time out of the half. Kansas State.
And now Kansas State thinking they can get the football back. There is a flag down
on the far
around midfield along the North Dakota sideline. I think Tim Rich just realizing that, so he'll bring the crew together and discuss. Kansas State calling that last time out. They thought the sack was going to stand. Let's listen
During
in.
the play, personal foul, face mask, defense number 5. That's a 15-yard penalty enforced in the previous spot with an automatic first down. Kansas State will not be charged with a timeout.
All right, so there you go. They were unaware of the flag as well. So Clemens with a mistake in his tussle with Dang on the top of the field, and this will be a 15-yarder, in North Dakota bailed out by the penalty.
You know, it's the second week in a row that Coach Kleiman's team has been undisciplined on their approach to the game. It's the little things which are allowing this team to really, you know, make a difference on the other side of the ball. North Dakota has shown more moxie and not done as much as far as, you know, turnovers and things of that nature. But when you look at it at the end of the day, it's the undisciplined play by Kansas State, which is allowing them to only be 3 points up in this game. You got man-to-man on the outside. Just, you know, do what you're purposed to do. Do what you've done all camp and allow yourself to go out there and make a play.
First and 10. From the K-State 47.
So the back-to-back sacks by Bates and Stufflebean for not following the unsportsmanlike conduct, and a first down at the 47. Zipping it through the hands, incomplete, looking for Dang Dang. McIntosh, the coverage.
Yeah, you look at it, you know, Kaminsky has a lot of moxie out there, but, you know, he's just watching Dang Dang right here the entire time, knowing he was go to it, and that's why the DB was able to come up and make a play. Plus, he put a little too much heat on it wanting to get it there, and that's one of the things they talked about in his game, that he did too much. Throwing the ball too hard to receivers when he needs a little more touch.
Yeah, he would be on lockdown with one specific target, did not check down on the others, and he would try to force the issue, which created some troubles for him in his early years. 2nd down and 10, inside a minute to go. Long throw across the field, the timing route. He was looking for Dennis.
Yeah, both guys on the outside playing hand-to-hand combat. You know, you could have called that either way. Holding by the defense, interference by the defense or interference by the offense. You got to push off with the offense, and you know, you look at it, the corner just wasn't going to let him push him away. They've been pretty successful on 3rd down.
Jordan Allen, one of the rush-ins. Keep an eye on number 44, Osen Sami. Couple of sacks last week. Rocco backed in Iowa State. 3rd down, they keep it on the ground. Nice jump cut there by Seidel, and he'll pick up the 1st down. A former hockey player turned football, showing that jump cut on the ice, how it translates to what it looks like on the gridiron.
But once again, you know, you look on us, Toby Osen Sami, he just can't keep rushing down and allowing them to.
Here's Dennis with the catch. This will be 1st down yardage inside the red zone. That's a terrific throw, a long throw across the field on the timing pattern, the out route by Caden Dennis.
Yeah, even better out route, you know, that he ran, and then, you know, Kaminsky just getting the ball to him in stride.
18 yards on the completion. North Dakota still with a timeout. Xavier Lay flanking Kaminsky to his left, and now they go empty set as Lay goes to the slot. That late shift had Kansas State confused, so they're going to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Kansas State.
You know, Sean, they had problems with this last week with lining up, and I think that's one of the things that UND made sure they took note of in the game last week. There was a lot of times where Kansas State was moving around and didn't quite know what to do or how to adjust to different formations. So, I mean, you can see UND definitely taking advantage of it on offense. And, you know, at this point, 35 seconds left, Kansas State up by 3. I would call a timeout also, just to make sure that they know who they have, how they need to do it, and execute the defense.
Joe Klanderman, the defensive coordinator, he is part of Kleiman's original staff at North Dakota State, came with him from Fargo to Manhattan back in 2019. He was actually the linebacker coach. And Kleiman was the defensive coordinator for North Dakota State back in that time, all under Craig Bohl's direction.
Yeah, he's one of those guys you could tell that he, you know, he loves the game he's playing, and, you know, sometimes he's not playing with a full deck. He's crazier than most of the players, you know. He loves being out there. He loves the game. He loves coaching the game.
Always so fun to chat with him and the energy that he brings.
Absolutely.
1st down and 10 from the 16, taking a shot, back of the end zone, off the fingertips, incomplete.
It's a great pass out there. Just led him just a little too far on the play.
DeMontanek, the intended target. There's an injured lineman for North Dakota down.
Just throw it a little bit too far on the play. Oh, I hate to see this offensive lineman down. That's one thing when you play O-line, it's tough because you always have people falling around your legs, you know, and, you know, that's one thing I was always conscious of. When the backside guy gets rolled up from the opposite side or from the back, it's really tough.
Keep an eye on the right guard, number 51. It's Caleb Olson. And yeah, Barrett, you are spot on. He got rolled into. Just nothing you can do. You're in that helpless position.
Absolutely, absolutely. I can remember playing, when I was playing here and I was playing on the opposite sideline, we're playing against Colorado, and the same thing happened to me. I sprained my medial collateral, you know, and you know, it was tough. It's tough because somebody's always falling around your legs. You got 5 big guys, 5 really, really big guys battling, you know, 3 or 4 other big guys, you know, so it's tough.
Hey, look at this offensive line, and they really had to mature sooner than North Dakota was anticipating when they brought them in. They had some really good linemen in this program that transferred out to FBS schools, and Easton Kilty was one of those players. Started his career at North Dakota, transferred to Kansas State. But you look at Olson, gingerly makes his way off the field toward that North Dakota sideline. Olson, Anderson, Buxta at center, Beecher at left guard. These are all guys that maybe played a year before they were anticipating, but now they're starting to pay off those dividends and the labors of those growing pains they had at times a year ago.
You play, get the experience, you know, even though you, at that point, don't think that you're ready to play, but you get forced to play, then the maturation sets in, and you guys play together from being thrown into fire.
See how they respond without the captain, and a huge hole opens up untouched. Sawyer Seidel, touchdown, North Dakota.
Great one-on-one blocks in the interior of that defensive line, because everybody has their man by themselves. The center's covered, the guards are covered. They come off the ball, and when they come off the ball, they able to push them all the way down, and the linebacker in the end, they don't get to their holes. They didn't allow the linebacker to get to his hole, so just ran straight through where somebody vacated. Touchdown.
16 yards on the touchdown run by Seidel. Elrich adds the point after in a developing situation on a Saturday night here in Man State.
And we're going to, go out and oppose our will, and it's working for them. Very, very muddy game.
These two teams putting up close to 500 yards of combined offense in this first half. Norenberg takes it out past the 25. Kansas State with just a timeout, only 19 seconds.
I'll tell you what, Sean, this is the game that Coach Kleiman didn't want to see. He's been at a FCS school. He understands what it is to come in and beat a K-State team. When he was at North Dakota State, him and Carson Wentz came in and beat Kansas State, during their heyday. So this is something, that you can't just take lightly.
Kansas State has won 31 of the last 32 games against FCS opponents. That one blemish, as you mentioned, the Kleiman-led Bison of North Dakota State.
Absolutely.
When he was the defensive coordinator.
We talked, he said that. He said, I don't want this.
By the Royal Purple tonight.
Yeah, they're in enemy territory, but you can't tell them nothing. They're in their foxhole, and they're fighting their way out right now.
North Dakota in this offense to get the football first after deferring to start the game. And what a first half it was for Jerry Kaminsky in this offense. Balanced attack. Kaminsky making his first career start, the sophomore out of Sun Prairie High School in Wisconsin, was named the starter Monday. Won a tight battle, outdueling last year's starter Simon Rumfo and the transfer from San Diego State in Javance Tupuala Johnson.
It's all about belief, and they believe in Kaminsky. They definitely believe in him.
North Dakota from the 25, out of the pistol set. They will hand the ball off, and Lay is tripped up in the backfield. The top linebackers in the country, Austin Romaine.
And they feel as though they have an opportunity to go out there and really play. I mean, watch them here. That offensive line of moving guys around. On the backside, they were able to go up and make a play. But they have to watch that crashing down, because they have been able to get on the outside and really make big plays from going from that backside and cutting up the middle.
And second down, back-to-back carries for Lay, and this time it was Payne coming up from his safety position. So let's talk adjustments defensively for Joe Klanderman and Kansas State. Good start here with the hit by Romaine and Payne. What do you anticipate?
I anticipate them to make sure that they look for the big play. When you're up and you're stopping them like this, that's when they start to go over the top. They must stay disciplined in their lanes, in their coverage, and make big plays on the defensive side of the ball. And on the exact opposite for UND, make sure that they go out there and do what they've been doing. playing disciplined football.
Third down, they rush 5, floating it far side, just beyond the reach. They were looking for Ty. Coverage on the play by Justice Clemens.
Now you look at it, watch the defense. I'm looking, and he was right there to make a play and hesitated for a second because he made sure everything was going around because he was scot-free and hit Kaminsky and really altered the throw on the play. Those are the little things you have to do. Base fundamental football.
Lockett awaiting the punt at his 35. Kansas State trying to set up the return. A booming kick here by Silvernail. Lockett on the back pedal at the 20 with some space. 35-40, upended at the 43. It's a return of 23 yards on the 53-yard bomb, uncorked by Silvernail. Avery Johnson, fresh off a strong showing in Dublin. And for the second straight week, Barrett able to get those vertical balls down the field. A couple of touchdown passes.
Yeah, you give him a little time. That's all you have to do is give him a little time, and he can make a big play. You give him some running lanes, he can make a big play. But I tell you what, UND has played disciplined football and kept him really in the box, really preventing him from doing that, keeping constant pressure on him. And, the ball has bounced their way a lot of the times.
Great starting position for Johnson in this offense. After the Lockett return, they will run that jet sweep. Putting a plant, trying to cut up field was Moise. Trying to get the freshman. That's his third touch tonight.
Running that misdirection, they pull both backside guard and tackle, get them going that way, and then handing the ball off on the jet sweep, going back around. This time, North Dakota stayed disciplined.
14 of 20 for Johnson in the first half. Couple of touchdown passes. As we talked about, really hasn't run the football a lot. Just a couple of carries, -4 yards. Running over the right side is Joe Jackson. Bennett Walker coming in from his cornerback position. And a third down coming up.
We talked about it earlier, keeping things simple. You got to keep things simple. Just run the ball. Allow your offensive linemen to go out there and pose their will. Look at this defensive line. Keep them on the field a little more, and that's just by going and taking a little bit at a time, running the ball, keeping their discipline, and playing this offense the way it's supposed to be played.
Last year, Kansas State averaged over 200 yards on the ground, 11th in the country. No Dylan Edwards again tonight in that ground game, a struggle. Third down and a low throw, and a juggling catch is made. Terrific concentration by Bradley. Throw and catch, keep this drive. Good news for K-State. Terrence Enos was able to walk off on his own power, replaced out there by the freshman Gus Honkes. As they go near sideline. Hawkins at right tackle, Barrett, is a player talking to offensive coordinator Matt Wells and Coach Kleiman that they are really high on the redshirt freshman from Shawnee. Expect to get a lot of reps throughout the course of the year.
Yeah, he was going to be in this game a lot, and they have high hopes for him being a really good player for him.
Second down and 7. Over the right side, good tackle there. Flying in was Jai Martin.
Slow and steady wins the race. I know this doesn't look like big-time football, but this is the type of football I love. Power football, you in the front side, you double team, backside pull around, and find you a gap to run through. That's what they're doing right now. Keep this going. Keep this defense on the field. Kansas State's offense, the defense has been on the field way too much. They need to keep the North Dakota defense out there a lot longer.
Braden Moore is checked in as one of the rush-ins, one of the veterans of this North Dakota defense. Johnson will keep it, a rare carry for him, and he'll get to the corner, scoot his way to safety as he gets out of bounds, shouldered by Bennett Walker, but a third down run for Johnson.
There you go. Keep it simple. Here it is, get everybody going one way, and then follow your tight end on the outside, let him secure a block, and then use that speed that he has. Johnson's one of the fastest players on the field right now. have him use his legs a little bit to kind of open this game up a little bit.
15 yards on the run by Johnson. First down, Kansas State inching closer to the red zone. They fake the jet sweep. Johnson will take a shot. Lots of contact downfield.
That was a great play call. Tight end on outside, but you got to complete it. You know, he overthrew the tight end. Have a little more touch getting the ball to him. I know his eyes got huge seeing how wide open that tight end was on the outside. He ran a little wheel route. He's wide open, but you got to finish the deal.
See Lofton open off that wheel. Jamire Davis was wanting to call as he got all tangled up near the goal line. Second down and 10. Jackson in motion. He will get the call. Has a block for the corner. 15. And again, it's Jai Martin with the tackle as he goes in on the shins, but the speed of Jackson moving the sticks in a Kansas State first down.
You look at Jackson, you know, he could have went out of bounds early. What does he do? He finishes the play. He gets the first down. These are the little things you have to do to keep this offense going. Keep the chains moving. Physical football, slow and steady run the race. Sometimes you got to be the tortoise. Just go down the field.
Going into the game last week, they told us they were expecting maybe 25 to 30 snaps for Jackson. Ended up with a huge load because of the injury to Edwards. He gets a quick break here. Rice is checked into the game. Running over the left side, Rice with a good surge. Pastore and Portier on the left side of the Kansas State offensive front wall.
Sean, I love it. I love this. Just go out there and just impose your will as an offensive line. It's a great run right there. You may not think so, but 4 yards on a first down, now you've got 2nd and 6. Keep the chains moving. Give you an opportunity to stay on the field. Keep this defense on the field.
North Dakota rotating freely, trying to keep fresh bodies out there. Big and Rucker back into the game. Their 2 starting rush ins. Second down. Rice trying to bounce it wide. Gets to the outside. Touchdown! The freshman into the end zone for the first time in his Kansas State career.
I know you want me to talk about Rice, but no, who am I going to talk about? I'm going to talk about this left tackle. Gus Hawkins secures that right side, and he's able to run right over him, and then the speed of Rice to the outside. Simple play by putting a man on a man, drive blocking, great play by the offensive line on that play in Hawkins, and also Rice running it.
Big 12 power football on that drive by Kansas State. In the first half, they're able to get 7 rushes alone on that drive, and you saw the end result with the touchdown run, his first as a Wildcat from the freshman Rice.
And that's what I'm used to seeing from this Kansas State team, that type of play. Not flashy, a little bit underwhelming, but a score nonetheless. Driving the ball down the field, running it, and having plays like that to keep this Kansas State team in the game.
So North Dakota has had a response every time Kansas State has snatched that lead. Will the Fighting Hawks be able to respond again as Jerry Kaminsky leads this offense out? This crowd having a tense but fun time in Manhattan on this Saturday night. Absolutely gorgeous night. Worried about some rain early, but the showers went west, they went north. See a little light drizzle starting to fall now. For the most part, the rain has held off. After Ireland last week, K-State doesn't want to see any more rain. First down, Kaminsky hit. This one flutters its way out of bounds.
And that's the pressure up front by that Kansas State defense, pushing the offensive line on the footsteps of Kaminsky, not allowing him to step and push through the football, made it sail in the air a little further.
Cody Stufflebean again putting the pressure on. What a game for Stufflebean. Has a couple of sacks, forced a fumble. That time a quarterback hurry. Second down and 10 from the 25. Kaminsky will keep it toward the boundary side, and he is punished. hit hard, picking up 3. A true freshman, Logan Bartley, who they're really high on, coming in with the blow.
This kid looks good, you know, running sideline to sideline, out there making a play. But I think it is all set up by the end setting the edge and making sure that they're just not going to run past him. He didn't go straight down and follow the play. He kept his gap discipline. It's all about the discipline of the way the play is supposed to be designed, and he definitely did it that play.
Blitz comes, they pick it up. Kaminsky time the throw, and it's knocked away. Broken up by Fortenberry, the transfer, who's just starting to get into that rotation from South Alabama.
You know, he run it, able to get past, a little bit of, you know, hand play. You could have called it on the play, a little, you know, jerk of the jersey. He got away with one that time.
North Dakota bench irate. Eric Schmidt still barking at the side judge. He wanted the flag.
As he should be.
Silvernail on the punt. He's had a good night punting the football. Another beauty. Lockett with the fair catch at the 23.
You know what, Sean? This is you know, this is kind of crazy, but I actually played with Lockett's father, Kevin Lockett. That's terrible. You know, it's 2 guys on this squad that I played with their fathers back in the 90s. And that's Kevin Lockett, you know, Lockett, I played with him, and Leon Edwards. Edwards' dad I played with. You know, Little Lee, big shout out to you. Kevin, shout out to you too. Your sons are out here making me feel old. Definitely make me feel old. Look at that, Tyler Lockett, Kevin Lockett, Aaron Lockett. That's you know, pops and 3 sons that are playing here at Kansas State. Talking about some lineage.
Much that family has brought, the joy, the enthusiasm, the passion. Tyler Lockett, one of those names. So Kansas State setting the tone with their physicality here in this third quarter as Jace Brown gets his first touch since a very productive opening quarter. He had 6 catches in the first quarter alone. That's the first time we've called his name since.
Absolutely, you know, but I don't want to force the ball to him, but hey, when you do get it, make something happen with it. He should have just take it straight up the field, not worry about, you know, juking anybody, because you look at it, the guys are sit there to make the play. So just run over somebody.
Johnson dials up his tight end. Another short game. This is Braden Lofton, the junior out of Omaha, part of the state championship Lewis Central team in Council Bluffs, Iowa.
Slow and steady wins the race every single time. Here we are just running the offense. Now it's third and manageable. 2 quick passes. Maybe now they go over the top on a big play. But now it's third and something that they can go out and make something happen with.
12 personnel, the 2 tight ends to the right side. Brown goes in motion. North Dakota brings the 2 linebackers and finding the open space. Easy throw and catch. Bradley with the haul in and a first down for K-State.
We call this a stick route. Great play. You run somebody on the outside on the quick out, and you had Brown on the quick out, and then you sit somebody right up underneath to catch the stick route.
Now they go a little bit faster after the first down. A hole opens up. Squirting through is Jackson. This offensive line opening up some holes, getting some push on the North Dakota defensive front.
Starting to get lathered up. This is at a point where the offensive line said, hey, coach, let's go. Give us the game. We want the game. Let's drive them off the ball. Running backs won't be mad. Let's go.
They have completely flipped the script with their ground success in this third quarter. Second and short. Johnson nowhere to go. He'll tuck it and run. So dangerous. Avery Johnson with a first down gallop. Up ahead to the 34, 15 more yards.
And, you know, that was one of his maturation things that he did well. He hasn't run a lot, but sometimes you got to take it in your own hands. And we're at the time in the game where, yes, he probably needs to go out there and take this game over. Don't let Kaminsky stay the star. He drops back, nothing's open on one side, checks his progression. All right, I'm going to go out there and run. Sometimes you just got to do that.
Johnson on every preseason watch list, whether it's the Maxwell, the O'Brien, the Conference Player of the Year. Second year as the starter, they give it to Rice. These coaches bragged up Devon Rice, the product out of Bishop Gorman, one of the top high school programs in the country. He was part of a loaded backfield, so he never got a lot of carries just because of the wealth of talent, but he has stepped up with the injuries to Dylan Edwards.
Well, you look at, he was able to go out there and finish the play because of Oakley. Tight end on the outside, held the block for a long time, allowing him to go make the first down. Sometimes you got to take that guy out to lunch for what he just did. That was a great block by him, allowing him to turn the corner and get the first down.
Quick moving third quarter, wide open the tight end. This is Oakley tight roping the sideline. Kansas State has it all clicking, and that's what a running attack can do. These quick passes open up. You're getting 3, 4, 5 yards a chunk on the ground, and the tight end's becoming a factor.
And why not throw him a bone? That was a great fake by Johnson, and then just delivered the ball to him.
Up the middle for 6. Devon Rice has his second of the night.
Kiss. I keep telling you, keep it simple, stupid. Run the ball.
Tag for K-State. 10 rushes, 28 yards in the first half. But they have really turned on the Jets in this third quarter. 11 carries, 91 yards in this third quarter alone, and a lot of those yards coming from a redshirt freshman, Devon Rice, out of Las Vegas. Matt Wells was looking for somebody to step up to fill the void with the Dylan Edwards injury, somebody to relieve Joe Jackson a little bit. Rice has stepped up tonight.
And he's reading the blocks. He's going out there with patience, but when he does get an opportunity to hit the hole, he's hitting it hard. He's fast. He's a quick player, and he's showing, why they brought him in here.
First and 10, 25 yards.
North Dakota offense that was moving the football in the first half has suddenly hit a brick wall in this third quarter. 2 3 and outs. Kaminsky and company will try to change that. Nowhere to go. Pursuit from Daniel Cobbs. That'll be a TFL. Loss of 3.
That's what football is all about. It's all about emotion, number one. But, man, make sure you're playing assignment-correct football. And they weren't playing assignment-correct football. Here it is right here. They're trying to get the jet sweep to the outside. But look where he puts his head outside. He defeats 2 blockers, sheds them, and gets out to his responsibility as the widest guy out there, makes the play.
Some injuries at safety. Cobbs getting an opportunity. His third year, a transfer from Tyler Community. North Dakota going the wrong way again. Back-to-back tackle for losses. This time it's the headhunter from the safety position, B.J. Payne.
When you're not doing it up front and you're not pressing guys off the ball, then you got to resort to gadget plays. And those 2 gadget plays were not being able to run the right way because the gap discipline that they're showing from Kansas State. When they ran it before, guys weren't, crashing down. Guys were just making simple mistakes, which allowed big plays. When you play your assignment the right way, good things happen.
These are the downs where Osunsami can wreak havoc. Number 44, hand in the ground at the bottom. This crowd making some noise. Pressure comes right on cue. It's Osunsami.
You run a TE stunt all day. Now they run an ET stunt. The end crashes. He runs right across the face of the tackle. He's used to them going to the outside. He went right across his face, and as an offensive tackle, that's the worst you can do. That's one of the mortal sins you cannot commit. Don't let anybody cross your face. And what does he do? Crosses his face for the sack. Great play.
Lightning quick first step of Osunsami, his 3rd sack in the first 2 weeks of the year. Good special teams coverage by North Dakota. Malachi McNeil greeting Lockett.
Kept himself from, he caught the ball, just secured the ball. That's number 1. That's definitely number 1. No turnovers. Now it's time for Kansas State to go out there and really put a nail in the coffin. If they can go out, execute what they've been doing, playing simple football, running the ball when they're supposed to run it, maybe a big play here and there, this could be a very effective offense in the run. So maybe they learned something the second half that they couldn't execute in the first half. It's a long game.
Avery Johnson, his 16th career start tonight. 10-5 as a starter, but he's been really good at home. Leading by 10 off the play fake. Has some time, settles underneath, and a minimal gain back close to the original line of scrimmage. Jace Brown, good job by Johnny Wiltshire.
Look at this stat. I mean, come on now. UND minus 10 yards in the third quarter. Kansas State 113. Talking about a shift of tides. The tide was coming in. Well, now it's going out for the UND defense.
No answers on either side of the ball in this third quarter. Johnson will lob it downfield into double coverage. Flag is down. It's picked off. There is a flag down. Zach Lewis, transfer from Northern Arizona, coming over. Let's see what the flag is all about.
Pass interference, defense number 10, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's on the corner, Walker.
Sean, they caught a gift, man, because, I mean, here we go. We're starting to get too cute now. What's been working? You know, all right, you're going to go over the top. You got to throw a better pass. I know you trust your guy, but, you know, you can't throw the ball in harm's way. That's what keeping you effective. The turnover battle right now in the second half is going in K-State's favor. You can't allow yourself to do that. Just get back to running the ball consistently. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. I keep telling you, it's not all, you know, sexy, but, hey, it works.
Inside a minute to go. First down after the penalty. Jackson for 4 yards over the left side.
4 yards is a good play. It's a good play, Sean. It's a good play. 4 yards. But like I said, now it's 2nd and 6 instead of 3rd and 10. If you watch the defense, you're starting to, you know, become a little less explosive.
Kansas State, no hurry here. 2nd down and 6. Moise in motion. Here comes the blitz. Johnson will roll out to the right. Now throw on the run. And it's in and out of the arms of a sliding Garrett Oakley.
That's really tough. And he was open on the play. He got pushed out by the defense. Great pass rusher. They need to keep him more contained. Defensive ends got to make sure they stay with their rush discipline. If you have a mobile quarterback like this, you can't allow him to get to the outside because that's when they do the most as far as being creative and getting the ball down the field. When you're UND, keep Johnson in the pocket. He's less effective there than he is on the outside.
Barring a defensive penalty, this should be the final play of this third quarter. 3rd down and 6. And the ball is loose on the turf. Going to be a big loss for Kansas State. Moise picks it up, but way back. Devon Rice has rushed for a couple of touchdowns in this second half. K-State 14 unanswered. After trailing 21-17 at halftime, they now hold the 31-21 edge as we start the fourth quarter. On the return, this is Zach Lewis up to the 28 yards. You're North Dakota, you're playing a top 20 team on the road, first game of the year, and you enter the fourth quarter down 10. Opportunity here, but they need something on this drive. Hop skipping his way over the right side is Seidel.
And that's a good run. Once again, keep the chains moving. Those type of runs keep you in the game. And right now, you know, that's what they need. They need stability. They need for this offense to run seamlessly.
Seidel, a great story. He was adopted from the Democratic Republic of the Congo when he was 6 years old. Both he and his brother Simon, who plays for Minnesota, downfield throw, and it's reeled in at the 45-yard line. They go to the tight end. They don't look the tight end direction much, but they told us the freshman Nathan Hermatka is the guy we're going to go to when we look at the TEs.
Yeah, you know, give Kaminsky a little time. Don't get anybody's face. You know, you can deliver the ball down the field. Tight end runs a little corner route and is able to go out there and make a play.
20 yards to the true freshman. He's a big man, 6'6", 230-pounder out of Maple Grove, Minnesota. One of 30 players on this roster from the state of Minnesota for North Dakota. 1st and 10 plus territory, trying to whip out that screenplay, and it is snipped out beautifully. Excellent job by Quay Moss.
Yeah, Quay Moss reading the play inside out. He saw the quick screen go on the outside and was able to beat the blocker underneath and make the play. And that's just, you know, just an effort play right there. You know, you can sit there and be like, wait for the play to come to you or wait for the blocker to come to you. No, he initiated. He ran through and made a play on the outside.
Moss grew up in Georgia, came to Kansas. We talked about the strong JUCOs in this state. He's part of Dodge Community College, then went back to Georgia, now here in Manhattan living out a dream. Shaking free off the first tackle and then getting pounded along the near sideline is Seidel.
You got to finish the play. It's a great play by 25. I think slow it down, but if he goes and makes the tackle, now it's even more. Watching the play, pursuit, gets there, but you got to finish the play.
Gabe Powers, the transfer they brought in this offseason from Ohio State, finishing the job along the K-State sideline. Crowd making it tough for Kaminsky. 3rd down, they keep it on the ground, and there is nothing. Stood up at the line, falling ahead for 2. Down 10, early part of this 4th quarter, plus territory. You got to believe this is 4-down territory.
Yeah, you know, at this point, you have to make a play. And they trust Kaminsky enough to change the play. I don't know what they're going to play, but the play was that he had called, but he changed it, and maybe he saw something.
Kansas State could not get off the field last week on 4th down with Iowa State. First opportunity to come up with a stop tonight with North Dakota. Throw toward the sideline, it's caught, and a 1st down. B.J. Fleming, they needed 4, they pick up 6, and the drive stays alive.
That's a great, great pass by Kaminsky, only throwing to where his guy can get it. He's able to rifle it out, bunch to the left, runs the quick out, and is able to make the play. Catches it, brings it in, gets the 1st down. A bunch coverage is hard to defend because you don't know what the receivers are going to do on the outside. We have 3 receivers out there. You know who's going inside, outside, or going up. And that was a great play call that they had for UND's offense.
10 different receivers for Jerry Kaminsky tonight. They weren't kidding when they said they had a real deep receiving corps. 1st down, he zips this one, and it's dropped. Put it right on the button, but Ty could not bring it in.
Yeah. Giving them an opportunity, keeping them in the game. Got to finish the play. Kaminsky has a strong arm, a lot stronger than I thought it was. He's shown that he can, you know, do everything from a passing ability. He can push the ball down the field with a deep play, but he can also throw from sideline to sideline.
16 of 26 for Kaminsky, 159 yards. Looking over a 4-man rush. He's going to step up at the last second, spotted his tight end. Hayden Stay with his 2nd catch. They pick up 12 more and a 1st down. Purnell the tackle.
Yeah, a little sidearm on the play. I mean, he has really impressed me. Kaminsky's really impressing me. Number 1, how he's leading this team. Number 2, he has commanded the offense and getting the ball to his weapons. And number 3, he doesn't think that he doesn't belong here on this field. He's the guy. No wonder he won the starting job.
Only played 3 games last year. He was a redshirt player in 23. Play action, receiver open, it's Ty, and he makes the catch for the touchdown. And the Fighting Hawks say not so fast.
I love the route that he ran too, and not only that, Kaminsky led him away from the safety coming across. Didn't give that safety an opportunity to come make a play. He threw him open on that play. Watch him here, slot, good send, but then he fades. The fade is thrown perfectly, not leading him into the safety, but giving him enough room on the outside to to really hit the receiver in stride in the end zone.
9 plays, 71 yards, and it's a one-possession game. Jerry Kaminsky catching fire on that.
Is the man there. You know, they trust and believe in him, and he has the arm and the talent to do it. He's quick. He makes good decisions, and, you know, he's leading these guys in the right direction.
Bryce Nornberg will watch this one sail through the end zone. So Avery Johnson and Kansas State, they will go back to work when we come back. Well, there's some intensity swirling around Bill Snyder Family Stadium tonight. A lot of nervousness as well. We have a battle, 10-12 to go, fourth quarter. Kansas State clinging to a 3-point lead as they start shop at the 25. Johnson a quick throw and catch. Jace Brown, who's been active tonight.
That's a good, way to start it out. We call that an elongated pass, handoff, just to get your quarterback comfortable enough to get the ball out there and just get the chains moving a little faster.
10 catches tonight for Brown, 88 yards. Second down and short. Rice is picked up, lassoed back. And this will set up a 3rd and short.
Yeah, 3rd and short, a 3rd manageable, but if he'd have just watched the pullers, the center and the tackle pulled around, and there was a gap right there. If he'd just went to the outside just a little bit, he might have found a little more real estate to maybe get the first down.
3rd down and 2 for Kansas State. Wildcats 4 of 10 tonight on 3rd downs. Brown goes in motion, they go his direction, and it is jarred free, incomplete. The freshman, the true freshman from Kearney, Missouri, Grant Nolan, timed it beautifully.
Don't be scared to make a play. Freshman goes out there, he knows who he has on the outside. He tackles the ball through the receiver. Great play, forced the incompletion.
A 3-and-out for Kansas State, and North Dakota is going to get the football with a chance to take the lead.
And Kaminsky right now is firing on all cylinders from that last drive.
McClannon with the punt, angled toward the near side. Dangerous catch there, but it's hauled in safely by Seidel. North Dakota trailing. Lee Corso made it fun.
He's the reason I wanted to be an analyst. Just watching him and how he did it. My head just couldn't fit in those bubble heads. My head's too big for it. But yes, he's one of the reasons why I wanted to call football games, because of him, and just predicting games and seeing how things are going to go through in the game. He was one of the best at that.
So here is North Dakota. Down 3, 8.5 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. A new era for the Fighting Hawks. Eric Schmidt coming back to the program that he won a national championship with as a team captain and linebacker back in 2001. What did he tell us yesterday? All through fall camp, it was all about upping the expectation of harm.
That is such FCS coaching type of thing to say. Getting your guys to buy into your system, getting you guys to go in and just get in with the hard work. That's what he's established here at UND. Hard work and discipline is how he wants to win football games.
North Dakota struggled on 3rd down tonight. 3rd and short. They'll go with Lay. Patient run. Waited for that hole to open up, and a 1st down carry for Xavier Lay.
Sean, there was no disguising. There was nothing but those big guys up front pushing back this Wildcat defense. Man to man, they're pressing guys, and all the back had to do is just wait and pick his hole and run through it. This is good old-fashioned 3 yards in the cloud of dust football, run the rock.
An offensive line with 4 returning starters from a year ago. The only newcomer at left tackle, Trace Thaden. 1st down. Again, it's Lay with the carry, and he surges ahead for 2.
And this is one of the times where the big play usually happens to this defense. Kind of trying to lull you to sleep, run the rock, and then bam, over the top, one of the tight ends running a post route up the seams or on the outside for a big play.
Seidel is checked in. They just continue to rotate their skill players. 3 new receivers out there for offensive coordinator Isaac Frichte. 2nd and 8. Kansas State brings Purnell on a blitz. They'll go the opposite way for Ty. Back shoulder throw. Blanket coverage by Cobbs.
K-State's DBs were ready for that. They kind of knew that, all right, try to lull you to sleep. Get on the outside. Hey, sometimes you got to earn your money. You got to run with a guy and make a play. Great coverage on the play. Ran the route with the wide receiver. Who's going to step up?
Even noisier now in Manhattan. Kaminsky darts and a lot of cushion given and a first down. Boy, lots of room given on that far sideline. DJ Fleming with the catch and another 3rd down conversion.
I don't understand that. I mean, you got to play with the sticks. You don't drop back. If you're back by the sticks, you don't drop back past the sticks. And he was too far back on the play. You got to understand the circumstances of the situation you're in. You can't be back past the sticks if you want to go out and compete on a route.
3rd catch for Fleming tonight, the transfer from Northern Arizona. They had a coaching change, just did not fit in with that scheme. He's found a home, though, in Grand Forks. Home run ball, looking deep for Fleming, and a contact and a flag. Sandwiched with Rich and Fair, and North Dakota is going to be in business.
On the pass route, all he does is run a deep 9 route. And then the DB doesn't slow down. He underthrows a little bit, gives his receiver a chance, and it's a PI.
Automatic first down.
This is once again the Wildcats playing undisciplined football. When you're this deep safety, you got to stay behind everybody else. You got to be the last line of defense. If somebody's deeper than you, then you haven't done your job as that deep safety. And that's exactly what happened. He let the guy on the inside, the receiver on the inside, beat him over the top. You've got to be the deepest man on the play. When you're that home run safety, you got to play it like that way.
Youth at corner this year for Kansas State. A couple of sophomores first down. Kaminsky dumps it off into the flat. Seidel makes one miss. Tell you what, his future is bright. The more you watch Sawyer Seidel, he is dangerous with the ball.
He's almost, untackleable. He's out there and he's just running by guys, not giving him an opportunity to get a square hit on him. You got to play tighter in these type of situations.
His father, Steve, played hockey when he was adopted. He moved to Minnesota, so he played hockey. They called him Mayhem on the ice because he was a football player on the ice. He was one of those guys always initiating contact. It's been pretty special tonight on first down. This time he runs into a wall and Austin Romaine.
They've got to bow up. Somebody's got to make a play for this Kansas State defense. Kaminsky is just too good to allow him to go out there and keep making plays the way he is. He's reading the defense. He's checking down when he needs to check down. He's not allowing the pressure to come up the middle like he was in the third quarter.
Completely different story in this fourth quarter. They were very balanced in the first half. Kansas State dictated the tone in the third quarter, but Kaminsky and crew looking very sharp in the clutch. Second down, exploding through the hole is Seidel to the end zone. North Dakota goes back out in front. 19 yards for the sophomore.
Right up the middle. He just followed his blockers, followed the double team, ran right in behind him. And once again, no gap discipline. Look at the double team, right behind the double team. The defensive line is getting pushed back 5 yards on the play. 5 yards. The veteran D-line shows what they're made of this drive.
Point after is good by Elrich, and North Dakota, after Kansas State came out with 14 unanswered in the third, it's been countered by North Dakota. And Jerry Kaminsky's father, Brian, a high school football coach, he is all pumped up.
4 minutes in the game, that was a crucial drive by his son. Kaminsky orchestrates this drive straight down the field, giving his team an opportunity to win this game in the fourth quarter.
He doesn't have any Kelly Green like Brian Kaminsky has up in his section, so he's keeping that energy contained.
One lone
right
little
now.
dot in the middle of all that purple, and he can be excited if he wants to.
Sawyer Seidel last year, he was their big play back. He led North Dakota with chunk plays. He had 17 plays of 20 or more, and he has had a dynamite night tonight. 8 carries, 62 yards, a couple of touchdowns. An upset alert late on a Saturday night here in Manhattan. Norenberg with some room, hurdles a defender high up into the air. And a strong return, good starting position for K-State. A little more than 4 minutes to go.
And this was definitely needed, you know, go out and make a play. Special teams, you know, had heard them a little while earlier. Now they have to go out and make a play, and they do. Give them great field position with 4 minutes left on the clock. I want to see what Johnson does now. How does he lead this team? Can they rely on him to be the guy to go in and make a play for this Wildcat offense?
They start empty on first down. That little tunnel screen set, cutting back to the inside. Gain of 4 yards to Jace Brown.
I'd rather see him run the ball, keep him on the field. But you look at it, you know, 20 feet for 32, 266 yards. That seems like a pretty good day. It doesn't look like he should be losing with 2 touchdowns, but they are. Down by 4.
Clock continuing to move. Play clock inside 10. The tight end, Ancio, lines up as the H-back right. Jackson, the running back. Johnson on a quarterback keeper all the way. Makes one defender miss, and he will pick up the first down. Plus territory for Avery Johnson, using his wheels to get to the outside.
Simple play, allow him to go out there and be one of the better athletes on the field. He's already one of the fastest guys on his team. He might be one of the fastest guys on this field, period. Johnson has a lot of gifts, as you know, and how do you let him go out there and really execute it? You got to let him use his legs. You know, he is a very explosive player.
We hit the 3-minute mark. First down, Kansas State from the Fighting Hawk 42. Johnson with pressure under duress, and he's forced just to get rid of it.
Now 2nd and 10. You know, that's my bias of being an offensive lineman. You know, I just really feel that, you know, when you run the ball, you control the line of scrimmage, it gives you a better opportunity. Yes, you know, you have Johnson. He's one of the better quarterbacks in this Big 12, but, man, get those guys up front an opportunity.
2nd down and 10. They will run to the boundary side here, and North Dakota was waiting. Jackson had nowhere to go. Gang tackling led by the senior Jai Martin.
Now 3rd and 10. There's no timing right now. But this is where, you know, you got a veteran quarterback. He started, what, 16 games for the Wildcats? Given an opportunity to really make a play.
Eric Schmidt making his head coaching debut at his alma mater. He has everybody up on the line of scrimmage here. Also serves as the defensive coordinator. They rush 8. Johnson forced to get rid of it. And a 4th down coming up for Kansas State with 2:10 to go.
Man, I mean, do you punt it? You can't punt it. You got to go for it. Oh, come on. That's exactly what you want.
Pass is incomplete.
They keep the offense on the field. 4th down and 10. Again, the Fighting Hawks put everybody up. Man-to-man coverage on the edge. Johnson near side throw behind the intended target. And North Dakota comes up with the stop. Bennett Walker, who followed his head coach from the West Coast to Grand Forks, started a couple of games last year, then lost some playing time, so he redshirted, wanted to go out on his terms, and he comes up with the pass deflection.
Great play on the outside. He reads the play. Johnson looks the receiver down. He undercuts him. I mean, and the plays behind him. You got to step up when you're a big-time quarterback and make big-time plays. That was thrown behind him. That's probably the second worst pass he's threw today. First was to
2nd and 11 from the 41. That's Ty in motion. They will hand the ball off to Lay, and now we will reach the 2-minute timeout. North Dakota trying to pull off the early season upset on the road.
Fabulous job of beating this Kansas State defense.
They are going to put it on Kaminsky's shoulders. Blitz off the edge. He was forced to get rid of it. Good job that time by Kansas State. There is a flag down. It's along the Kansas State sideline.
Before the snap, false start, offense, number 15, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Do you have to accept it? You have to accept it, right? So at this point, I'd go with it again. I would allow Kaminsky to go out there and make a play. He's beat the sticks the entirety of this game. He's had he's had 3rd 20 and has picked up 3rd 22 and picked it up. Why wouldn't you allow him to go out there and make a play?
Offline snap, design quarterback run, and they're going to force Kansas State to burn their 2nd timeout, but the Wildcats will get the football back. Sawyer Seidel, the sophomore. They knew they had a weapon coming back from last season. They wanted to expand his role, and he has delivered in this 2nd half. Not 1, but 2 touchdown runs for the Fighting Hawks.
You see the patience he showed in the run. I mean, he has the ability to go out there and the speed, once he gets through the hole, to burst. He's been exceptional today of reading his offensive line and really taking his game to the next level. As an offensive lineman, you want a guy like that with explosive speed, number 1, but sometimes guys are too fast and they don't let the play develop in front of them. He allows the play to develop in front of him, which allows him to take it down the field. Let's see if my little nephew, Lockett, can go make a dish. I'm going to go make a play.
Silvernail on the punt. Lockett awaiting the kick around the 20. Kansas State is going to set up the return. Low wobbler angled toward the near side. Lockett picks it up. Just climbing still with the timeout. They start from the 19. Johnson over the middle, and it's dropped. Right between the 1 and the 2 for Jerron Tibbs.
I mean, it's a great pass. You can't allow this to happen. See, this team has become so undisciplined. This is not a climbing type of team right now because they're making too many mistakes like this. This is great. Great pass, gets it to the receiver, gets it to his weapon. I mean, he might have been able to take it to the house.
He had some room to run, yards after catch, but we'll never know. 2nd down and 10. Johnson feeling the heat, flush to his right, throws, and a diving catch is made. 1st down, a pickup of 12. Bradley with the catch.
You got to get on the ball, 11 personnel, push the ball down the field.
Kansas State gets up quickly to the line of scrimmage. This one falls incomplete. They were looking to play. 2nd down from the 32 after the injury timeout. Over the middle, this time Tibbs hauls it in.
There you go. Nobody's around him. Give him a clean pocket. Let him execute the play.
14 yards, K-State lined up, ready to go. First down from the 47, far sideline throw. Bradley into plus territory, still tons of time. K-State with a timeout remaining.
I'd go down to Bowden Bradley again, but I'd go an out and up. Fake like you're going to run the out and then just take it up the field. It's man-to-man. Somebody needs to go out there and make a play on the outside.
A lot of cushion right now by the secondary in the Kelly green on the 2nd and short. Johnson taking a deep shot, fires toward the sideline, incomplete. He was looking for Brown.
Give him another opportunity. They're playing prevent. We call it sticks. Everybody 5-10 yards off the ball.
3rd down, they're going to pick up the first down with Jackson. Jackson inside the 40, bursting his way to the 39. That'll move the chains, Kansas State.
Clock stop for a little bit.
50,000 strong to cheer on this team as they come back from Dublin. Slant is hauled in again. Chase Brown, a career high 12 catches tonight. Clock will continue to run, and now there's an injured North Dakota player that was slow to get up. That was Jai Martin. You can see Brown still feeling the effects as well.
That's 3 plays, 3 different players for UND have came down and been hurt.
Number 4 was injured of the defense on the play, which caused the game clock to stop. By rule, this qualifies for a 10-second runoff, which Kansas State has declined that option. The game clock will start on the snap.
I figured they would decline it on the play.
Tim Rich getting a clarification from.
Well, shouldn't it be a tight end, a timeout being taken away?
Conversation continues with Kleiman and Kansas State along the sideline there.
All right, let's see what you got, Johnson.
2nd down and 2. All at the 31-yard line. Trips right, 2 receivers left out of the empty set. They run a stunt. Johnson with room, directing traffic downfield, gets a block from Brown, and K-State will have it 1st and goal.
Great run by Johnson. Understanding it's man-to-man on the outside. Everybody's back was turned. Give him a free field. It's almost like I said, if you are in these defense, you got to keep him and keep it rush lanes. Instead, he let him get on the outside. He's able to run down, use his speed. Great block by Brown on the outside. This is what you need. This is when you step up. If you are a major player for Kansas State, this is what you need to do.
38 yards on the scramble by Johnson, and now 1st and goal, K-State. From the 6, Johnson, open, pylon, touchdown, Joe Jackson!
Okay, Johnson. Big players step up, Sean. He stepped up and made a play.
Avery Johnson with both his arm and his legs stepping up when this team so desperately needed. Point after by Rodriguez, good. 10 plays, 81 yards, a little more than a minute off the clock, and Kansas State goes back out in front by 3.
Well, is it too much time? I mean, Kaminsky has played phenomenally the last 2 series. Love the way they ran that route. It wasn't necessarily a pick route, but did give them an opportunity to keep a defender on Jackson. Allowed him to score. Defensively, what do? I mean, I think I still might blitz him. I'm not going to let him sit back and pick our defense apart. Kaminsky is too good to allow him to do that.
Johnson tonight, 28 of 43, 318 yards, 3 touchdowns. And he used his legs on that last drive. 36-yard scramble to set up the short touchdown pass to Jackson. North Dakota with a full allotment of timeouts on the return, out past the 30, up ahead to the 35-yard line. So if you're the Fighting Hawks, 37 seconds, 3 timeouts, you have a very good field goal kicker in C.J. Elrich. All-conference kicker from a year ago. And
they said he's comfortable for 53, right?
Yep, that's his comfort range. They would not bat an eye.
And I love Kaminsky. I love his, he's integral in his team being in their success. So I would allow him to run what he wants to run and give him an opportunity to push the ball down the field.
Jerry Kaminsky in his first career start today. Can he put the finishing touches on this one? 4-man rush toward the sideline. Minimal gain that will stop the clock. Lay escorted out of bounds by Rich.
Got to play sticks defense. And if you're the deep guy, allow nobody to get past you. Safety's got to play safety today and really be the last line of defense.
Second down. Throw near side is caught. That'll be a first down. That'll stop the clock. 12 yards. Throw and catch to Corey Ty. Again, with 3 timeouts, the middle of the field is open. North Dakota
going man-to-man, that's a lot of comfort, and your guys making a play.
For North Dakota, you're looking to gain another 20 to 25 yards to get into field goal range. On the drag pattern, broken up by Rich. Good job there, reaching around, avoiding the contact.
That was a phenomenal job of Rich running with the receiver, able to reach past him and not have a penalty. He used his inside arm, knocked the ball down. Great play. Great play by the defense. Great call by the coach, sending the blitz. Trusting the man-to-man coverage.
Kaminsky hit as he throws, and it will be 3rd and 10.
Once again, they ran that TE stunt on the right side of the defense, allowing them then to hit Kaminsky. Not allowed to step through on the pass play. When you don't let them step through, the ball tends to sail on you as a quarterback.
Chidi Obiizor putting on the heat. Osen Sami on the opposite side. Allen and Stuffle being the 2 interior tackles. 3rd down and 10. Nothing open to the right. Kaminsky trying to buy some time as receiver was a good 2 or 3 yards out of bounds. Physical defense along the sideline by K-State. And it comes down to this play for North Dakota.
And they did do the same thing they did before in the drive before. They played tighter. They didn't play so deep that they couldn't come up and make a play. They made it real blurry for Kaminsky and not allow him to throw the quick out on the play to try to get the first down.
The Kansas State defense could not come away with the 4th down stop last week. Can they do it tonight to avoid a major scare from North Dakota? 4th and 10. Long throw. Off the fingertips, incomplete. He was looking for Dennis, and Kansas State is going to survive.
They're going to survive, but I tell you what, they got beat on that pass play earlier, and K-State realized what they were going to do and set back and made sure they had tighter coverage on them. They were playing deeper last drive before. They played tighter, which allowed them to go out there and make a play. Great play. Got to catch that ball. I mean, that was in his hands. In NFL terms, that's a drop. You got it. It touches fingertips.
It's a long throw, difficult throw across the field.
Absolutely.
Kaminsky put it where it had to be.
He definitely put it where it had to. We have seen a great player in UND in Kaminsky. K-State lives through this scare, but understand they got a lot of work for next week. A lot of work.
A week in which they just tried to rediscover